most of you will have heard of body roll and will have got a pretty good appreciation of what that actually means through the water. Essentially, what you want to imagine yourself is imagine yourself almost like a kebab stick. Think about your arms down by the side, but imagine yourself as the body of the kebab stick. You're the meat, you've got a kebab stick going down through the head, out through the bum and down between the legs. When you're swimming along, the body wants to be rolling around that central pivot point like so. It's very, very important, and this is what we're going to concentrate on in this next section, to make sure you're really stretching out here in the abdominals and thinking about that body roll being initiated here from the hips and not just a twist of the shoulders. Here we go, let's have a look through this. Many people argue the benefit of body roll, but let me show you a simple demonstration that'll rest your mind at ease. Now if you swim through the water flat, like so, with no body roll, the maximum you can reach to is just here, the shoulders square. Off on the side, like so. Now if you think about rolling the body through the water as well, and trying to get a good extension, that's how much further we can actually reach. And from the side, so this is the flat, from the side with the body roll, extending here, you're getting a much longer stroke through the water. Try that with your swimming. Now next drill we're going to do then, we're going to push off, one hand on top of the other, we're going to perform 8 leg kicks on the front, and then simply roll over and perform 8 leg kicks on the back. And then back onto the front like so. Now it sounds quite an easy idea, but actually trying to keep your hands one on top of the other and super glued together, and your shoulders super glued to your ears, is actually quite difficult when you're trying to think about stretching out here and just purely rolling from the hips. This is what Bill's going to try now. Okay Bill, let's go.
So 8 kicks and roll through. He's actually initiating the body roll here by stretching out in the abdominals and telling his hips to actually roll himself through the water. Keeping a good torpedo position and kicking straight down the pool. It's looking really good.
Outside of your swimming sessions, and in particular your drill practices, one of the best ways to do this is to perform your drills as 25 drill into 25 freestyle, or half a lap drill into half a lap freestyle. Whilst you're doing the drill, you're actually building up a multi-skill coordination pattern in your brain, which you're then trying to transfer across into freestyle at the halfway. This is the most effective way to actually perform those drills, allowing you to get the most efficient time out of your swimming. With your normal swimming, when you go to take a breath, it shouldn't be so much your head turning to take a breath, it should just be an extension of the body roll which we talked about before. So the next drill I'm going to get Bill to do is going to push off with his arms down by the side, stretching out here in his abdominals, looking down at the bottom of the pool. He's going to perform 6 leg kicks on his front, and then simply roll over and do 6 leg kicks on the side like so. Back to the front, 6 leg kicks on the front, and then 6 leg kicks out onto the opposite side. Now when his body rolls through the water, he's actually thinking about the body roll being initiated here from the hips, not actually just turning the head to take a breath. So he wants to turn like this. Notice the difference between that and that one. Okay Bill, let's have a go.
Here goes Bill in the corpse pose kick, 6 kicks out onto the right hand side, 6 kicks in the middle, and then rolling over onto the left hand side and 6 kicks out on that side. Now he's focused on stretching out from his abs and actually initiating the body roll from the hips there. Transferring that skill across into his freestyle, you can see how his body's rolling effectively and he's cutting through the water very efficiently. Looking long and smooth. Superb body roll.
One of the most simple drills for actually improving your body roll through the water is a drill which I call 6-1-6. Purely for the fact that we're going to perform 6 kicks on one side take one relaxed stroke over the top of the water, and then perform 6 more kicks on the other side of the stroke. So it looks something like so. Push up, pull out onto the side, perform 6 leg kicks on the side, then one smooth relaxed stroke over the top of the water. The hand will then catch up, and then you'll roll through onto the opposite side, like this. Bill's going to go down the whole lap here, performing 6 leg kicks on one side, 1 stroke, 6 leg kicks on the other side, and we're really going to focus in on how well his body's rolling through the water. Alright Bill, here we go.
Okay, Bill pushing off in that torpedo. He's pulling out, so he's looking out towards me out on the side of the pool there. 6 kicks, 1 stroke over out into the other side. Now just watch as he picks that elbow up and rolls through. Great stuff. Really streamlining, really stretching out. Super relaxing the shoulders. Elbows coming up nice and high. Catching up at the front end of the stroke just before he's pulling through, allowing him to get good extension there.
You just saw Bill there performing the 6-1-6 drill. And now I'm going to show you a progression from that called the 6-3-6 drill. Now it's quite simply almost exactly the same in that you're still going to push off and do 6 kicks on the side, but rather than 1 stroke over the top, I'd now like you to perform 3 extra strokes. So it's breathe, 1, 2, 3, and then 6 kicks out onto the opposite side. Really still think about lengthening out your stroke on this one, but for those of you progressing to bilateral breathing, it'll obviously really help you with this because you're going to be breathing every 3 strokes. So every 3rd stroke you'll take a breath. Now there's obviously no limit to the amount of extensions you can do with this. You can either pause for 8 kicks on the side, 6 kicks on the side, even just 2 kicks on the side. The whole idea is between your 3 strokes to get you to lengthen out onto the side here as you're kicking along. Okay, here we go. Here I am, pushing off. Out onto the side, 6 leg kicks, 1, 2, 3 strokes and 6 leg kicks out into the opposite side. Notice the good body roll, smooth hand entry into the water, 6 leg kicks, 1, 2 and 3. Remind me to make a note that my left hand's just coming across the centre line there. With most of the last few drills that we've been doing with Bill, focusing on his body roll, we've been trying to think about how these hips become important in actually rolling like so through the water and actually initiating that body roll. The drill we're going to do now is pretty much like a follow-on from the 6-1-6 drill. Bill's going to push off, torpedo, pull out onto the side, perform 6 leg kicks just like he did in the 6-1-6 kick position, but then rather than take the arm over the top of the water, he's actually going to recover underneath the body, catch up and then roll through. Catch up and roll through. This particular drill we call the doggy paddle extension, and it's really good for focusing on when he's pulling through, making sure this hip is actually rolling out of the way, allowing him to get that full extension at the back end of the stroke. Let's have a go at this one.
Bill starting off here on the doggy paddle extension drill. He's doing 6 kicks and then switching underneath the body. 6 kicks out onto the opposite side. It's just allowing him to really focus on rolling the hips as he extends through. Now into his long smooth stroke. Rolling from the hips.
Pushing off, We go 25 metres just pulling through to the right hand side, breathing to the right hand side, nice and relaxed. As the hand exits here, elbow up nice and high, shoulder relaxed, and we just enter here like so. Breathe and enter. And we're going to actually breathe every single stroke on this one, like so, which will actually help with the body roll quite a bit.
Okay, now Bill pushing off here. Now he's going to leave his left arm extending out in front of him as he pulls through with the right arm and breathes out to that right hand side. A single arm extension drill. As you can see, he's breathing every single stroke. He's focused on a nice relaxed shoulder and elbow up. Okay, here he is, just swapping over, out onto that left hand side, rolling the body, extending with the right arm, shoulder relaxed, elbow nice and high. Now you may have found that a first single arm drill actually prevented quite a bit of body roll by having this arm extended out in front of you, like so. So what Bill's going to do now is simply going to bring that arm down by the side, he's going to pull through with his right arm, and he's actually going to breathe to the right hand side, like this. Or with the other arm, like so. Now, what I'd like to pick up on the video is just how much Bill is rolling that shoulder into the water, allowing him to get a good body roll. Here we go. Okay, Bill pulling through his left hand, rolling and breathing to the left hand side. Notice how he's dipping that right shoulder right the way into the water, emphasising that body roll. Just coming up to the halfway where he's going to swap over out onto the right hand side. There we go. Dipping that left shoulder in, pulling through with the right arm, breathing out to the right hand side. Two single arm drills that we've been doing with Bill, I've been breaking down his freestyle stroke, so he's obviously thinking about either his left arm at one time or his right arm. But neither of those drills have been particularly great at actually improving his body roll through the water. So the next drill we're going to do is going to be a progression from those last two. It's called the unco drill. What Bill's going to do, he's going to push off with his left arm down by the side, pulling through with his right and actually breathing out to his left hand side like this. Breathe and roll. Breathe and roll. I just want you to pay particular attention to how Bill's actually rolling his shoulder out of the water, and then more importantly, making sure he's actually rolling right the way back in as well. This will actually help him take that right arm over the top of the water. When he gets to the halfway, he's simply going to swap sides and carry on to the end of the pool. Okay, Bill, here we go. So Bill entering the water there with his left hand. And as you can see, he's actually initiating the breathe as that left hand actually hits the water. So he's breathing there like so. You don't want to leave your breath too late on this one. Pulling through his left hand, but now breathing out to the right hand side. Just swapped over there. Right hand breathing to the left. Rolling that left shoulder out of the water, but more importantly, rolling it right the way back in as well. Super smooth, super relaxed.
We talked earlier about how important core stability is when you're swimming. I'm just going to show you a little demonstration now where I'm going to be swimming away from the camera, doing a little drill which I call double flickbacks. You'll see from this drill how important it is to be very stable in the core centre to make sure you don't actually roll over onto your back. Okay, here we go.
Okay, here I am pushing off the wall, going into the double flick back, so I'm extending with that elbow and then opening the arm out to touch the water on the opposite side. Pay particular note to how I'm trying to stop myself from rolling over by keeping stretching out from my abs, but still rolling through from the hips. Quite a strange drill, this one, for most people. You can see how it's quite effective. Now, as the hand exits the water at the back end of the stroke here, that part of the stroke, as we exit there, back to the entry point, is what we term the recovery phase of the freestyle stroke. And the only purpose that particular part of the stroke serves is to get the hand from the exit point back to the entry point here. What you need to focus on, therefore, if that's its only purpose, is to focus on the shoulder being really relaxed and the elbow coming up nice and high. We need to become efficient in that position, so we're not wasting energy by simply swinging the arms around the side. Let's have a look at these drills. Okay, that sort of almost rounds off what we've been doing with the body roll. What we're going to do now, we're going to focus really get down to business on the recovery over the top of the water. Now, a particular drill which we use for this one is the drill we call the Popov drill, named after the famous Russian freestyle sprinter Alexander Popov. What I'm going to get Bill to do here, again, we're going to do this as 25 drill into 25 freestyle, and hopefully you guys are going to be able to really focus in on just how relaxed Bill's recovery is over the top of the water, making particular note of the nice high elbows. As you kick along the side, with the thumb here, with the left thumb, you're going to trace it up into your armpit, slide it slowly back down, back up, and then just roll through, catch it kind of out to the other side. Up, down, up, and roll through. It's really important with this drill to make sure that thumb stays in contact with the body line, up into the armpit, back down, and then most importantly, back up into the armpit as well. Most people take it down and then sort of swing it right the way back over, and that just defeats the purpose of this drill. Good demonstration here of the pop-off drill. Elbow up nice and high, shoulder relaxed and rolling through. He's coming up, sliding back down, back up, keeping the thumb in line with the body, and then rolling through out onto the opposite side. Performing the drill again. You may have seen Michael Klim summit the Olympics with a straight arm recovery over the top of the water. And that's what Natalia is going to mimic now. We're going to set off down the pool with a straight arm recovery over the top here, focusing on just brushing the shoulders against the ears. What that's going to allow Nat to think about is think about relaxing the shoulders and think about good shoulder rotation as she exits the water and comes across on this recovery phase of a freestyle stroke. Okay, Nat, here we go. I wouldn't recommend doing loads of this straight arm drill, but it's certainly a good one just to help loosen off the shoulders a little bit and focus on that shoulder rotation. Here we go, Nat.
Okay, here comes Nat in the straight arm drill. As you can see, she's trying to focus on brushing those shoulders against her ears, extending the arm over the top of the water with a straight arm swing, just allowing her to get a little bit more stretch and reach than she normally experiences in her stroke.
One of the first drills I ever learnt as a child was a drill which we're going to do now, and that's finger trail. Now Natalia's been practicing that in the squad sessions quite a bit to focus on relaxing her shoulders and trying to pick her elbows up nice and high. It's a very simple idea. Nat is actually going to perform 50 metres down the pool. As she pulls through and the hand exits here, she's simply going to trail her little fingertips over the surface of the water, and what that will do, it will pick this elbow up nice and high. The hand will then just enter the water like so, and on the next pull through, again just trailing those fingers lightly over the surface of the water. Now your whole hand doesn't want to move through the water like this, obviously just the little fingertips there. Alright Nat.
And Natalia here with the finger trail drill. Just focus on just trailing those little fingertips over the surface of the water, which in turn is helping her pick up those elbows nice and high. Now that whole process is helping her recovery become a little bit more relaxed, as it's just bringing her shoulder into a more neutral position. Now, pay particular attention to try not to drag the whole hand through the water on this one. As you can just see Nat just doing there at the end of the lap. Just the little fingertips.
How come you don't always look like that in the pool?
This next section we're going to look at the hand entry into the water. Specifically, looking at making sure the fingertips are into the water like so. A lot of people are under the impression that their thumb should be entering the water first like this, because they believe it might make the hand entry into the water a little bit more relaxed. Entering with the thumb first though causes internal rotation at the shoulder joint here, which is one of the main causes of shoulder impingement. So, the next set of drills is going to concentrate on making sure the hand is entering nice and smooth, like this. Here we go. Paul here has actually been experiencing a bit of shoulder impingement, so we're going to try this next drill with him. This next drill is actually called spearfish. What Paul's going to imagine is his fingertips acting like a spear. He's going to enter the water, imagine a little fish swimming out in front of him, spearing that fish before he starts his catch and pull through. We'll also notice how it's making his hand entry into the water nice and smooth and nice and clean. And it's actually preventing him splashing into the water like so, which is almost like putting the brakes on. Let's have a look at this.
Okay, Paul going into the spearfish drill here. Looking for a smooth hand entry into the water, so he's not disturbing the surface of the water there as his hand enters. You can almost imagine a little fish swimming out in front of him there, and just trying to use his fingertips to spear the fish before he goes into his catch and pull through.
Now, in order to allow Paul to think about his hand entry into the water a little bit more, we're going to break the skill down a little bit further, and we're going to do a drill now which we call shoulder tap. Again, another simple idea. Similar to catch up, in that Paul's actually going to breathe every single stroke. But now, when he pulls through, he's going to pull through, breathe to his right hand side, and as his hand exits the water, over the top, he's simply going to tap the top of the shoulder and then catch up. And then he'll do the same thing out onto the other side, like this. Tap, 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 like so. Now when he goes from that hand tap position here to the hand entry, he's got to really think about supporting the arm over the top of the water so that the fingertips enter the water first, and so that the arm doesn't simply drop in the water like this. Okay, how's that sound?
Yep, sounds good.
Let's go.
Tap and catch up, tap and catch up, tap and catch up. Now over the top of the water, Paul's being really careful to make sure he's controlling his hand entry into the water from the time his fingertips just tap the top of the shoulder to the time they enter the water there. making for a nice smooth hand entry. Just coming back the opposite way, and again you can see how that hand entry is nice and smooth. Lots of control happening there between the time he's touching the top of his shoulder to the time his hand enters the water.